Most people in this world want success, but very few are willing to pay the price for it. Everyone says they want freedom, wealth, and grades, but 99% of people choose comfort, excuses, and distractions over discipline, action, and sacrifice. You must do what 99% will never do. The 1% wake up with purpose. While the 99% hit the snooze button, the 1% invest and waste time and money on things that don't matter. The 1% stay consistent when it's boring, hard, or painful, while the 99% quit the moment it gets uncomfortable. Understand this: success is not about luck, it's about choice. Every single day you are making a choice. Are you moving closer to being in the 1% who build the life they dream about? Or are you staying in the 99% who only wish, hope, and complain? Becoming the 1% means being obsessed with growth. It means reading when others are watching TV. It means working on your vision when others are partying. It means refusing to settle for average. Yes, it's hard, but that's why only 1% make it. If it were easy, everyone makes it worth it. So ask yourself, do you want to blend in or do you want to stand out? Do you want to live like the 99% or rise above and join the 1%? The choice is yours. Start today. Discipline, stay consistent, refuse to quit, and one day the world will look at you and realize you didn't just dream. You became the 1%. Do what 99% won't. This is the starting point of understanding greatness. Most people desire success, but their actions never match their words. They say they want to change their lives, yet when it comes time to wake up early, put in extra hours, or stay disciplined, they make excuses. The 1% are those rare individuals who decide to embrace discomfort and sacrifice. They go to the gym when it's raining and they're tired. They work on their dreams when nobody is watching. They study and learn when others are wasting time scrolling endlessly. This is the dividing line. The difference between the successful and the average is not talent, luck, or even intelligence. It is the willingness to do what others refuse to do. The 1% are not born special, they become special through relentless action. Success is not luck, it's choice. Too many people live under the illusion that life is about chance. They look at wealthy, powerful, or fulfilled people and assume they got lucky or that they were born into opportunities. In truth, success is the result of deliberate choices made consistently. You decide whether to hit snooze or to start your day with purpose. Every evening you decide whether to waste hours on distractions or to invest in growth. These small daily choices compound into your future. The 99% live reactively, letting life push them wherever it wants, but the 1% live proactively. Intentional choices to shape their destiny. Your life today is nothing but the sum of the choices you made yesterday. If you want a different tomorrow, you must choose differently today. Consistency beats motivation. Motivation feels good, but is temporary and unreliable. Everyone feels motivated at the beginning of a new goal or dream, but motivation fades when the work becomes boring, painful, or repetitive. The 99% quit. They only act when they feel like it. The 1% understand that consistency is far more powerful than bursts of motivation. They train their minds to keep going regardless of mood or circumstance. Whether they are tired, uninspired, or discouraged, they still take action. Consistency builds habits, and habits create results. Greatness does not come from occasional bursts of effort. It comes from daily, disciplined work that compounds over time. Growth over comfort is another principle that separates the 1% from the 99%. Most people are addicted to comfort. They want easy entertainment, easy money, easy results, but growth only happens in discomfort. The 1% choose to invest in learning instead of wasting hours on meaningless distractions. They read books, attend seminars, practice skills, and constantly push beyond their comfort zone. It is uncomfortable to learn something new, to fail repeatedly. That to be challenged is the birthplace of growth. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The more you seek comfort now, the harder your life becomes later. The more you embrace discomfort now, the easier and greater your life becomes later. Sacrifice now to win later is a principle most people ignore. Success always demands a price, and the 1% are willing to pay it up front. While others spend weekends partying, they are building skills. While others buy things to look rich, they are investing to become rich. Sacrifice is not punishment, it is preparation. You give up temporary pleasures for permanent rewards. Most people cannot handle sacrifice because they want inspiration, but the 1% play the long game. They know success is not built in a day, but built daily through years of effort, patience, and sacrifice. Stand out, don't blend in. The world remembers the few who dare to be different. Most people are afraid to step out of the crowd, to go against the norm, or to take bold risks. But the 1% refuse to blend into mediocrity. They understand that average will never be remembered. To stand out, you must be willing to live differently, work differently, and think differently. Standing out means not following trends blindly, not caring about opinions that don't matter. To pursue your own vision, the crowd may laugh, doubt, or criticize, but eventually they respect and admire those who rise above. ChatGPT said success is not luck, it's choice. Every person alive has been told stories of people who got lucky, who were in the right place at the right time, or who were born with advantages. And while circumstances can differ, the truth is far simpler and more powerful. Success is built through the choices you make every single day. Luck may open a door, but choice is what decides whether you walk through it. Too many people hide behind the excuse of luck because it lets them avoid responsibility. It's easier to say they got lucky than to admit, I didn't make the right choices. When you look closely at those who rise to the top, you'll see a trail of decisions that shape their path. They chose discipline over laziness. They chose learning over wasting time. They chose persistence over giving up. Every morning, you are given the same opportunity, the chance to decide how you will live that day. Most people, the 99%, environment and emotions to dictate their choices. If they feel tired, they choose sleep instead of progress. If they feel distracted, they choose entertainment instead of growth. But the 1% understand that feelings come and go, while choices leave permanent consequences. They don't wait for the perfect mood. They act regardless of it. Think about it. The life you have right now is the result of the choices you made in the past. If you're unhappy with your finances, your health, or your relationships, it is not bad luck. It is the outcome of the decisions you've made daily. That can be a painful truth to accept, but it is also empowering. Because if your choices created your current reality, then new choices can create a new future. Every action you take plants a seed, and eventually you harvest what you've sown. The 99% plant weeds through poor choices and then wonder why their life is full of problems. The 1% plant seeds of discipline, focus, and sacrifice, and over time. Success doesn't demand perfection. It demands direction. You don't have to make flawless choice every single day, but you do need to keep choosing growth over stagnation. You need to choose the hard path now so you can live an easier life later. People rely on luck, gamble their future, hoping something magical will change their lives. People rely on choice, take control, knowing every small decision stacks up and builds momentum. In the end, life is not a lottery. It is a series of deliberate steps that lead you where you want to go. Every day, you're writing your story with the choices you make. So the question is not whether you are lucky or lucky. The real question is, are you making the choices that will lead you into the 1%? Consistency beats motivation. Motivation is powerful, but it's unreliable. Everyone feels motivated at the start of something new. When the idea is fresh, the energy is high, a new goal, a new habit. It all feels exciting in the beginning. But here's the truth, motivation always fades. It doesn't matter how pumped up you are today. Eventually, you will wake up tired, discouraged, or simply not in the mood. That's where most people stop. That's why 99% never follow through. They only act when they feel like it. The 1% know something the rest don't. Consistency is stronger than motivation. Motivation is a spark, but consistency is the fire that keeps burning. You don't have to be motivated every day. You just have to be consistent. You show up even when you don't feel like it. You put in the reps when it's boring. You stick to the plan when it's uncomfortable, and that's what builds real results. The body doesn't change because of one powerful workout. It changes because of countless workouts done consistently. Wealth isn't built from one lucky opportunity. It's built through years of discipline, saving, investing, and working. Success in any area is a result of doing the right things over and over, long after the excitement has worn off. Consistency builds habits, and habits build your future. Once something becomes a habit, it's no longer a struggle. It's automatic. The 2% don't rely on how they feel. They rely on what they've built into their routine. That's why they keep moving forward when others give up. When you're consistent, you become unstoppable because you're no longer waiting for motivation to decide your actions. Think of it like this motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes, and you can't control it. Consistency is like rowing the boat. You may move slowly, always moving forward no matter the weather. The people who win in life are not the ones who had the biggest burst of motivation. They're the ones who kept going every single day, no matter what. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Reading 10 pages of a book a day doesn't feel like much. That's more than 500 pages. Saving a little money every month doesn't feel life-changing, but over years it grows into something significant. Showing up every day, even at 70% effort, beats showing up once in a while at 100%. The compound effect of consistency will always outperform the roller coaster of motivation. Now, the secret success doesn't belong to those who start fast. It belongs to those who never stop. Motivation might start your journey, but consistency is what gets you across the finish line. Growth over comfort. This is one of the hardest truths for most people to accept. Human beings are naturally wired to seek comfort. We crave safety. That's why so many people spend their lives in the same routines, doing the same things, and never pushing past their limits. But comfort is a trap. It feels good in the short term, but it keeps you stuck in the long term. The 99% live in comfort zones, protecting themselves from failure, pain, and challenge. The 1% choose growth instead, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts, even when it feels impossible. Growth only happens in discomfort. Think about your muscles. They don't grow when you lift light weights that are easy. They grow when you push past the point of pain, when your body feels like giving up. But you do one more rep. Life works the same way. Your mind, your character, your skills, they all expand only when they're stretched. Learning something new is uncomfortable because it forces your brain to adapt. Facing failure is uncomfortable because it bruises your ego. Taking risks is uncomfortable because it threatens your security. Every single step into discomfort is also a step into growth. The 1% understand that comfort today creates struggle tomorrow, while discomfort today creates freedom tomorrow. When you choose comfort, sleeping in, avoiding effort, distracting yourself, you may feel good for the moment, but you're slowly building a harder life. When you choose discomfort, studying instead of scrolling, working out instead of sitting around, saving money instead of spending it, you're building a better, easier future. It's the law of life. You either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The 1% choose discipline because regret is far heavier to carry. Comfort makes you soft, but growth makes you strong. Every successful person you admire got to where they are by stepping out of their comfort zone. They stood on stages even when they were nervous. They started businesses even when they didn't know if they'd succeed. They kept moving forward even when everything around them told them to quit. And courage always feels uncomfortable in the moment. Most people want results without discomfort. They want health without sweating, wealth without discipline, success without sacrifice. But that's not how life works. Comfort never produces greatness. If you want to be among the 1%, you must train yourself to do the uncomfortable until it becomes normal. You must see discomfort not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Every time you feel resistance, every time your mind says, this is hard, I don't want to do it, that's the exact moment you know growth is waiting for you on the other side. The 1% are not special because life is easier for them. They're special because they choose growth over comfort every single day. And that choice is what transforms them into who they want to be. Sacrifice now to win later. This is the principle that separates dreamers from doers. Everyone wants success. Few are willing to give up what they love in the moment for the life they truly desire in the future. Sacrifice is the price of greatness, and the 1% understand that you can't have it all at once. You must trade comfort, distraction, and instant pleasure for discipline, focus, and long-term vision.
The 99% avoid sacrifice because they want quick results and instant gratification. The percent embrace sacrifice because they know it's the only way to win. Sacrifice means giving up what feels good now for what will feel amazing later. While others sleep in, the 1% wake up early to train, study, or build.
While others spend their money on things that fade, the 1% invest in skills, assets, and opportunities that multiply. While others party every weekend, the 1% put in hours of work on their vision. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It means they prioritize building a future where they can enjoy it on their own terms.
Sacrifice is not about losing, it's about choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. Every successful person has a story of sacrifice. Athletes sacrifice their bodies and social lives for years of training. Entrepreneurs sacrifice stability and comfort to build something from nothing. Artists sacrifice endless hours behind the scenes before anyone notices their talent. None of them got where they are by accident. They got there because they paid the price when nobody was watching. The crowd only sees the results, but the 1% know the years of sacrifice hidden behind them. Sacrifice is hard because it feels like you're missing out. Your friends are relaxing, your peers are spending money freely, and the world around you seems to be enjoying life while you're grinding in silence. But the truth is, sacrifice is never wasted. Every hour focused work, every dollar invested instead of wasted. Patience, it all stacks up to create the life you've been dreaming of. And while the 99% live paycheck to paycheck, energy to energy, mood to mood, the 1% rise above because they were willing to pay now for what others hope to get for free. The beautiful thing about sacrifice is that it's temporary. Sacrifice is seasons of discipline for decades of freedom. Sacrifice is saying no now so you can say yes later to opportunities, experiences, and lifestyles others can only wish for. Most people live for today and regret tomorrow. The 1% endure sacrifice today and celebrate tomorrow. If you want to join the 1%, you must ask yourself, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to put aside so I can build something greater? Because without sacrifice, there is no success. And those who sacrifice now will be the ones who win later. ChatGPT said, stand out, don't blend in. The easiest thing in the world is to follow the crowd. Most people do it every single day without realizing it. They dress the same, think the same, act the same, and even limit themselves the same way. Blending in feels safe. It protects you from judgment and criticism. But here's the truth. Nobody remembers the ones who blend in. The 99% live in the shadows of the crowd, while the 1% dare to step into the light and stand apart. If you want to become the 1%, you must resist the temptation to live like everyone else. Standing out doesn't mean being loud or arrogant. It means being authentic and bold enough to live your own path. It means doing what others are too afraid to do. It means refusing to shrink yourself just to make others comfortable. The world doesn't reward imitation. It rewards originality, courage, and vision. Every great leader, innovator, or achiever stood out. They thought differently, they acted differently, and they weren't afraid to go against the norm. That difference made them unforgettable. Blending in feels comfortable, but it kills your potential. When you live only to fit in, you silence your voice and bury your own talents. You live for approval instead of purpose. But when you choose to stand out, you step into your real power. Yes, people will talk. Yes, they will doubt you, criticize you, but eventually the same people doubted will admire your courage. The world has never been changed by people who wanted to blend in. It has always been changed by those who were bold enough to stand alone until others followed. Standing out also requires courage to make unpopular choices. Waste time, you're working. While the crowd chases trends, you're building vision. While the crowd seeks comfort, you're seeking growth. At first, it may feel lonely, but standing out is not about instant recognition. It's about positioning yourself for greatness. You cannot lead from the middle of the crowd. You must rise above it. The 1% understand that standing out comes with risk, but blending in comes with regret. You can't live a legendary life by following average paths. If you want to be remembered, if you want to leave a mark, if you want to live the life you dream of, you must be willing to separate yourself from the 99%. You must be willing to stand out even when no one believes, even when no one follows, because in time the world will. Standing out is not about being different just for the sake of it. It's about being true to who you are, chasing the vision only you can see, daring to live boldly in a world that constantly pressures you to play small. The 99% blind and percent stand out to thrive, and that choice makes all the difference. So remember this, greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It is reserved for the disciplined few. It belongs to those who dare to sacrifice, who choose growth over comfort, who stay consistent when it's hard, and who refuse to blend in with the 99%. The world doesn't need more people who settle. It needs more people who rise. The question is, will you keep living like everyone else, or will you step up and claim your place among the 1%? The choice is yours. Start today. And one day the world won't just see your effort. They'll see your legacy.